Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, the 16th of March. I really want to talk about prophets and the power of prophecy, which is huge. And I want to talk about the main difference between the Old and the New Testament, because we are not facing the same danger. Whereas in the Old Testament, there is a lot where you can point to and say that is technology, that is clearly technology. Yeah? What is described in those texts were beings with advanced technological knowledge. And through that knowledge, they had dominion over man. They had the upper hand. Again, God wants dominion over man. He wants dominion over this world. The New Testament, there is a new knowledge. There is a new understanding of what the gods are and what they're in. I think they got the knowledge. Yeah? And here again, if knowledge is given, the way of the Spirit, an understanding of the way of the Spirit, if that knowledge is given, it is given without judgment. Yeah, the fact that they have that knowledge is not any indication of good or bad. There is no judgment in that. What is required is that you ask. First of all, you must search for that knowledge, and then you must believe to make it a reality. That is all that is required. And you can go on the search for knowledge with any intention, with good intentions or with bad intentions. As I said, good or bad is not in the knowledge, and there is no judgment in where it is given. It reigneth on the just and the unjust. Good and bad comes into being in how you use the knowledge. It does not exist before. So let me show you all of this here. First, I want to talk about the power of prophecy, because that is again tying back to the knowledge that Jesus brought into this world. The new knowledge of the gods. The new understanding of the gods that they're using to have dominion over us. A prophet has got an experience. If he's a true prophet, that means he had an experience that was real. Yeah? So, channeling, remote viewing, seeing the future, stuff like that. Again, that is real. That is another aspect of the wider reality that we're in. And it is a knowledge of, it is expanded awareness of other aspects of this reality. So they were in expanded awareness. And they made contact. They knew, experienced another being. And then it is the task of the prophet to make that known to others, to make it a reality for others, to bring the knowledge of that reality to others. That is the task of the prophet. Or even if it's as if the people themselves do not have that experience but just believe that other reality, that other being exists, That is good enough. Because through the prophet, the will of that other being can be made known, and then they are supposed to do as they're told. I mean, the prophet itself, like Isaiah, yeah, if you had this experience with another being and it says, hi, you've arrived here, then, okay, let us reason together, you do as you're told, and I give you the riches of the land, and you don't do as I tell you, and I will destroy you. Yeah, put that through your faculty, reason within yourself. So I would say a lot of prophets are not there, let's say, strictly speaking, out of their own free will, but they follow in fear. They do as they're told through fear. Again, with Jesus, I don't think that was the case. But I'll get to that in a minute. So that is the task of the prophet. And that is propaganda. They are the propaganda ministers of the gods. And they are God's little Goebbels. That's who they are. Repeat it endlessly and make it a reality in the mind of the people. And I mean, sometimes knowledge is shared with the prophet. Yeah? Here's the thing, and that is the thing of miracles, the thing of the power of prayer. Believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Now, the prophet would believe because God told him so. And Jesus was the same. Jesus was the same. There was a being there that told him it is possible. And Jesus believed because that being said it was possible. Or because it was the will of that being that made it possible. Not it is possible for us. We could believe on something and it would be given. Again, that is, power is given to God. He is the one that commands. He is the one that changes reality through you. Once you've become the fullness of His will. Again, so the knowledge of miracles and stuff happening was in this world before Jesus. Other prophets did it. Directed by another entity. So, I mean, I hear people at the moment, and again, I say, sadly, Greg Braden, he's wavering from one way on another. I really wish he would make up his mind. He is talking about prophecies at the moment. I don't know what, there's a part in Daniel and in Psalms, forgotten the numbers, but everybody's latching on to those, signs that will be there on the way, that will show we are on our way to the kingdom, so to speak. We are on our way to the kingdom. Again, pointing this out to people all the time is the task of the prophet. Make them believe. Make them look for the signs. Make them believe it will happen. And that is a prayer. That is a prayer. Believe it will happen and it will be yours. That is a prayer. It's not being on your blinking knees yapping about what you want next. That is not a prayer. A prayer is a deep down belief that something will happen and then it will be yours. And it is the task of the prophet to make people believe. To repeat it endlessly until it becomes a reality in their heads. And that is how they are doing the will of God, or the works of God, by making it a reality. First in the people, and then the people believe, and then it will be real. It will be given. It will be yours. Enjoy. And Jesus was no different. He was bringing the knowledge of his Father. And again here, he keeps saying it over and over and over again. And nobody is hearing it, apparently. I mean, I'm saying it until I'm blue in the face. I do nothing for myself. Everything I do is to glorify him that sent me. He did not resurrect Lazarus because he loved Lazarus, but he did it so it would glorify the one that sent him. He did it so people would believe on the one that sent him, to bring the people onto the knowledge of his Father, of the one that sent him. That is why he did everything, not for us, but for God, for that being, to make him a reality on earth. That is why he did it, and he was a prophet for that. And again, he was shown ways to do signs and miracles. He was shown that way. He was given that knowledge. But it was done to bring people onto the belief on the Father, and really to have the desire for that kingdom. Yeah? Oh, that kingdom is all love and compassion. The outcome was revealed to you. The outcome was revealed. You know it. It is the book of the Revelation, and please point out love and compassion to me in the book of the Revelation. Show me where it is. The witnesses of God closed off the heavens to create famine. They will smite the earth with plagues as often as they like. They are doing the will of God. Yeah? The last plagues will be poured out from New Jerusalem itself. What are you doing? Standing, when really you can go fully New Age here if you want, Or I know everything is good, God is love and everything is love. Then you can stand there when all that pain is poured out on you and say, yes, give me more. I feel the love. Yeah, I know this is love. Hit me harder. I mean, you have got to be completely gone. I mean, you need to be completely gone to accept that as love. But here, that is the whole point. And here comes the new knowledge, the big difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament. I said, in the New Testament, yes, I believe there were spaceships there. There were beings with great knowledge or advanced knowledge of technology. I believe that. The being in the New Testament has got spiritual knowledge, and here is what Paul said, we are no longer fighting flesh and blood. We are no longer fighting a material war. This war we're dealing with spiritual wickedness. Again, spiritual knowledge that has been given, that was received without judgment, because there is no judgment at that point. We should be of sound judgment of how we use that knowledge, and they're obviously not. Spiritual warfare. Yeah, or when people say now, oh, we are losing our humanity, we must hold on to what we are. And then they're talking about implants, technological implants. It's like assimilation, the way of the Star Trek walk. No. You are being assimilated, but not in that way. You're being assimilated on the level of spirit, where you lose your humanity in your spirit, where you no longer judge. Here, the knowledge of good and bad according to a human being, you no longer judge as a human being, because you have no more mind of your own. That is what Jesus surrendered, sacrificed to the kingdom. His self-sacrifice, the sacrifice of yourself, so you can be filled with the glorious will of God. No more mind of your own. That is the assimilation that is happening. Yeah? And again, if people can stand here and even read the text of the book of the Revelation, yeah, and can say that is good because it is the will of God. You can look at something that to a human mind should be far from good. I mean, it's downright evil. But you can stand there and say it is good because it is the will of God. Then you have lost it. You have lost your humanity. You have lost the sound judgment of a human being, and you are fully assimilated into the mind of God. It has happened, and there were no technological implants. But you have been assimilated. Now, to be honest, not all will be assimilated. Yeah? Because, again, it says in the book of the Revelation, let me just read this again quickly, because there are two kinds of people there in the end, when New Jerusalem comes. Yeah? And again, let me just read this quickly. Revelation 19. And a voice came out of the throne saying, Praise our God, all ye his servants, and all ye that fear him, both small and great. So there will be two kinds of people, those that serve him and those that fear him. Those that serve him will be those that are fully assimilated, the mindless angels of God, that will do slaughter when asked, that will do anything, that have no more human judgment. Those are his servants, and the rest will fear him. That means they still have an understanding, but, well, they are in fear because they feel powerless, or, who will do war against him? Who can do war against that? How would we get out of this? That's why they're in fear. The way to the kingdom. I mean, first of all, it has to materialize. For all of the other things, that has to happen, and then the rest will be added on to you. That has to come first. And the way to that is for people to believe that that will happen. And that is a prayer. The knowledge. It will happen. And it is, again, we're in a field of all possibilities. That is only one possible outcome. Only one out of all possibilities. But we are being driven onto that timeline, to that outcome, through belief. We're praying for it, we're asking for it, by believing in it. And once it materializes, okay, there will be those that will serve, that have been assimilated before it happens. They are kind of raptured before it happens. They're already there. And those that will fear him. Now I was thinking, for something to take over a world, how many do they need to assimilate to have power over the rest? What part of the population do they have to have completely assimilated to have power over the rest? It does not need to be all of us at all. The rest of us can, be oppressed again. And that's fine. Now, it's the last thing I want to say. As I said, we need to get to that point for the rest to be added onto us. And it is the task of the prophet to make people believe in that outcome so that it will be given. And here, at this point, I am actually as guilty as any other. Because Jesus said, and it is true, love me or be hot or cold, love me or hate me. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. For or against, if I speak against, that means I believe that that possibility is real. So I'm actually doing the same thing. It is a bit like the way of the Greek tragedy, when you have two possibilities, two ways, but in the end they will lead to the same outcome. That is the definition of a tragedy. But I don't know, how do you lead people from the outcome? I mean, if they're not even seeing that it is evil. I mean, seeing it as evil should turn them from evil. I mean, there is one other way, and that is really to have a different vision, to be a prophet to a different vision, a completely different outcome. As I said, there were those that are visionaries, that talk about the knowledge, that envision an outcome for humanity that does not involve other beings ruling over us, but our judgment, how we use that knowledge, what we do with that. A world that is human, created by humans. A world that is good according to the knowledge of a human being. But as I said, I mean, like the Greg Bradens and them, they had that vision, and now he's talking about biblical prophecy. Yeah, again, you're talking about two different outcomes. Which one do you want to be the prophet for? Make up your mind where you're going. If you want to be a leader, stop zigzagging. Yes, and this is the very last thing, because in the very last thing, and that is to point out that Paul has kind of changed the teaching a bit. Yeah, where he says, or where he put in the mind of the people, that has got nothing to do with the body. Heaven, it's all in heaven, it's all somewhere else. It's not here. Again, it's complete misdirection. Yeah, look over there. Not seeing what's happening here. Look for implants, so you don't see how the assimilation is actually done. Nothing to do with the technology. But Paul teaches this thing that has got nothing to do with the body. And it has got everything to do with the body. It is the Son of Man, it is the body of man that will survive. The body will survive. It is the death of the spirit, or the replacement of the human spirit by the mind of God. And what you're looking at then is actually a zombie. Something that has died spiritually, but was resurrected in the Spirit of God. And that is a zombie. And here you have the zombie apocalypse. It will be those that serve that are the zombies that will do anything and everything that we may judge in our human judgment, if we still have it, that we judge sinful. But they will no longer have that judgment. They will no longer be able to reason in that way. So that's what we're facing. That's what we must get out of. As I said, I'm trying to turn people by actually showing them the evil of this, because they are completely they are deluded in the big delusion. They're calling evil good and good evil. Yeah, they have it completely the wrong way around. But to truly get out of this, we must have a vision of a different outcome. And that if we are in the field of all possibilities, that possibility exists as a potential. And what we have to do is give to it of our energy, of our belief that we will receive if we ask. We must ask and create a different outcome through the power of prayer. Anyway, here folks, I leave it at that for today. And I talk to you again soon. Bye.